So I'm sure everyone watching this knows who Miskif is. He's one of the biggest streamers over the last couple of years, and Miskif has got himself into some big trouble, and you will not believe how crazy this story is. Only 18% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Don't be part of the 81%. Subscribe to the channel, you have nothing to lose. Miskif right now is trending all over the internet, and the reason is because he apparently helped cover up some SA or SH, if you understand what I'm saying. Apparently one of his roommates, Slick I think it was, one of his roommates apparently was inappropriately touching girls, and Miskif decided to think it wasn't that big of a deal.
I will pretty much fucking say it. He harassed that girl. He did.
And he kept letting him live with him, and he kept letting him reap the benefits of being in the OTK house. It's one of the biggest organizations right now, and one of the big reasons is because of Miskif himself. He was the one that let his roommates stay in after being super inappropriate and weird with girls. And once that started to come out, a bunch of chat logs where Miskif was saying Slurs decided to drop from 2018, or Ice Poseidon, one of the biggest old streamers in the past. He has his own slew of problems, but he leaked DMs where Miskif was saying homophobic slurs and racial slurs. Jadeon even said, this man Miskif said every slur under the sun. And yeah, he really did. And people were really not happy about this, and I can't say I blame him. I mean, as much as I like Miskif and I want to see him do a proper recovery, and but this is a really hard thing to forget and forgive. You know what, I could forgive the slurs, I guess, because I mean, every single big content creator has said slurs. I mean, yeah, it's still wrong, and but I mean, a lot of people just say stupid crap when they're younger, but Miskif honestly wasn't that young. He was like, this was 3-4 years ago, so not that long ago. You can't use that excuse where, oh, those tweets were from a decade ago. It's like, no, these are chat logs from 2018. That was, not that long ago. And then the other thing was him covering up for his friend that was inappropriately touching girls, apparently one even while she was unconscious, and it didn't sound like it was that big of a deal to him, or maybe he was misled.
He hates that there's a narrative about him being creepy. Yeah, that sucks. I told him, I'm like, look, you didn't rape anybody, it's one thing. I feel like, I mean, like, he didn't do anything. And like, people make it seem like he did. People like think of it, they think that he stuck his fucking dick inside her without her consent.
And honestly, I could 100% see Miskif being misled by his buddy. You know what? Even after the accusations, because no one wants to believe their friend, someone they're roommates with and they live with, and you know what? They're super close together. No one wants to believe someone like that is a terrible person. And so even when your friends might do something that otherwise would cross a line, I guess Miskif didn't think it was that bad, or like he said, he was misled into believing that his roommate wasn't the person he was. But I mean, there's multiple clips of Miskif saying that, oh, at worst it was harassment, harassment, you know what I mean? So it's like, he obviously had some version of an understanding of what this guy was up to, and he still let him stay on his house, so that's quite unforgivable. OTK recently posted an update saying, to the OTK community, when OTK was formed nearly 2 years ago, we strived to create a gaming organization that embodied our values as creators, gamers, and individuals. Yesterday evening, a series of clips and content surfaced relating to one of our founders. Due to the seriousness of what has been brought forward, we began the process of contacting a third-party legal organization to investigate the issue in detail. In the meantime, Miskif has been placed on leave and will be stepping away from the organization's duties pending the results of the investigation. OTK strongly condemns sexual harassment, assault, and bigotry of all forms. We appreciate your support and patience during this time. We provide updates as we receive them. And I mean, I guess this is a good thing from OTK, but I mean, honestly, I don't understand what they're talking about when they're getting a third party to investigate. The hell are you investigating? Everything, as far as I know, has come out. I mean, you know what, the chat logs of Miskif saying slurs, and then the video clips of Miskif covering up for his friend that inappropriately touched girls. I mean, there's no need for an investigation. He did some crappy things. He did some really shitty things, and he can come out with a serious apology. And I don't know, he came out with an apology. I think it's time to read it. Miskif posted a twit longer saying, "Hey guys, to update everyone, we found Crazy Slick." Oh, well, thank goodness. He has not harmed himself. That was the guy, Crazy Slick, by the way, that was inappropriately touching girls. And after the drama dropped, he deleted all of his accounts and said goodbye to his friends. And usually that's a pretty red flag for unaliving. But he said he found him and he has not harmed himself. Well, thank goodness. But I mean, you know, he did some terrible things, so I don't think he should just be able to delete all of his accounts and disappear. It's time to address things. It's time to, you know, man up and speak on the terrible things he did. But he said, after hearing from Adriana and the numerous other women who have shared their experience with him, it's clear he is not the person he made himself out to be. So yes, I do think Miskif was misled. In terms of living situations, Slick has been told to vacate our house as soon as possible. I appreciate the support of those who have been brave enough to come forward with their stories and his behavior. A little while after Slick's misconduct came to light last year, I made some inexcusable statements on an alt stream after some messages got to me, to Adriana and all those affected by sexual harassment, and I'm sorry for those statements. Sexual harassment, regardless of the degree, can be considered small, and while my intention was never to clearly mislead chat messages, I chose my words poorly and my response came off as downplaying and should have never been downplayed. It's not that it came off as downplaying, it was downplaying. I'm sorry, Miskif, but it was. And then he also says that the reason he made inexcusable downplaying of this sexual harassment was because some chat messages got to him. Like, I don't know, don't blame your child on that, man. You chose to respond, so you know, you made your bed, you lie in it. He also says, additionally, a series of private messages from 2018 have been posted where I said some reprehensible things. I've been open about my past many times on stream, and I'll address it here again. I was dumb, edgy guy who said a lot of stupid things to my friends to try to come off as funny and cool. I can't change what I've said, but I can change who I am and how I conduct myself. I'm so proud of how I've grown these past 4 years, but I know there's always room to improve. I'm sorry to everyone affected by the situation. I made a bad judgment call based on what I had led to believe, and I deeply regret it. I want to apologize to OTK, our staff, our partners, and those who put their trust in me every day to represent our organization in the best way I can. OTK has been informed that the organization is in the process of contacting a third party to investigate the actions above. During this time, I will be taking a leave of absence and stepping away from the organization. Thank you to everyone who supported me through the past 4 years of streaming, knowing that there are people who still look up to me. After everything is both a blessing and responsibility, I know I can do better job upholding, and I have to. And so I don't know if the majority of the internet is agreeing with them or disagreeing with them. I think a good way to really tell if people are accepting his apology is to look at if he's being ratioed on Twitter, and it doesn't appear he's being. The tweet currently has 22,000 likes to 3,000 comments, and if the comments are more than the likes, then that means people don't agree with him, but it looks like most people are okay with it, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of people upset in the comments. This guy said, "How many times you gonna tweet this, little bro? We get it, you're racist." This guy said, "Read, no, I don't think I will." I'm not reading that essay. I know, I was losing breath while I was reading that thing. So, I mean, honestly, Miskif has done some pretty bad crap. Let's keep it real. He's done some pretty irreprehensible things. You know what? I think most people could get away with the slurs, I suppose. I mean, there were plenty of people who were edgy and quote unquote made racist jokes even though these weren't racist jokes, they were just racial slurs when they were younger, because young people are dumb. And I mean, that's not a good enough excuse. I mean, like I said, I still think it's wrong regardless, but I definitely think he's made a change there. Where the problem really is with the Crazy Slick guy, where it definitely sounds like he was misled into believing that Slick wasn't that bad. However, I definitely think that now that he knows how bad it was, he's made some changes for this. Let me know, do you guys accept Miskif's apology, and would you want to see him back on the platform anytime soon? And it's funny too, because Miskif's just made a major tweet thread where he pretty much said like to ban Twitch, and him and Pokimane tweet on like to ban Twitch went super viral, and it actually looks like it led to Twitch almost completely getting rid of gambling on Twitch's platform, costing big names like Aiden Ross tens of millions of dollars. I talked about the entire situation in this video. You should click on it now to see what's happening on Twitch, because the last couple of days have been crazy.